Hey everybody, we're back, and looks like we're about ready to get into it. So it's going to be Cloudy and Ziggy the rematch. Ziggy, I'm hoping you can show us some more fun builds. Say fun.
I hope so.
First map is going to be on Odyssey, though. We're in the lobby. There's those beeps you guys so listen for when it comes to casting. And of course, that always means the game's getting going. So hopping into the lobby. Whoa, I just realized neither of these guys are ranked. Have they never played StarCraft before? We're
not ranked either, man.
Yeah, but
Where
that's
are we even
expected.
casting this game?
Well, it's expected for me, at least. I don't know what you.
Hey, you've had your portraits on your casting channel or account. I don't touch my 1v1 ladder on my casting account because who needs that pressure?
You're a coward, Zombie Grub. You're a coward. That's all I hear out of this.
I am.
All right, game number one. It's the rematch for the group, which does mean things favor Ziggy if you're a superstitious believer. In the top left, the yellow Terran who fell 0-2 before. Looking to turn things around, it's the yellow Ziggy.
Oh, this is so bad.
And it already got caught. Oh, no.
Kudos to Cloudy for knowing what's
He's
up.
like, yo, this is a scouting SCV. You can't say otherwise. I built my barracks at home.
What's so funny is that you can kind of just macro out of this. One SCV scout this early is a blow, but it's like, it's not that much. You can't just put a barracks back at home. It's just so silly. In the bottom rights, by the way, scouting this, it is the purple Protoss Cloudy. That wasn't clear.
I don't know, dude. I feel like he's so far behind now, he might as well just go battle cruisers.
Yeah, I might as well. By the way, when you say superstitious, I'm like imagining someone that's like, I believe in ghosts, the Loch Ness Monster, and
the bracket
group curse.
Hello, my name's Rifkin. It's nice to meet you. That is me in a nutshell.
You believe in ghosts and the Loch Ness Monster?
Bigfoot especially. Number one. I know you don't, but...
Totally real. No, I think Bigfoot's a thing. I just don't think that it's like
Did you see what he just tried to do there?
Steal the gas.
What are you doing, Ziggy? I love you, kid. I love this kid.
Well, I love that Cloudy just kind of slapped him, you know, like a kid trying to steal cookies. And no.
Yeah, smacked him down, right? Well, actually, it's not even that. He pulled the probe before he tried to build anything on it. He just pulled the probe to make sure that hugging this so it would deny it. Like, that was a small, insignificant part of the game that had a lot of thought put into it from both players.
It can be sometimes very significant, you know, when you consider that that would have been. I want to almost like see how much gas is being taken, because what they would do, right, if it was denied, is that they would just go for the natural gas because the Nexus is finishing up anyway, and that's probably still faster than trying to tear down a refinery. But I wonder how much of a difference the gas would be, because right now the Protoss player is trying to get a lot of gas-intensive things, right? Warp Gate, an Adept, and a Mothership Core, and a Stargate in some variation, you know, of an order here, and obviously the Mothership Core is the one that's being pushed off. Reaper's pushed off too. Would have died if there was a Mothership Core. But more importantly, Scouts, there's a Stargate.
Well, it's certainly being annoying because the Adept's not quite catching it.
Not quite. Ziggy's going for a Widowmine drop. Nothing too suspicious there.
There's a small note here while this opens up. Did you see the well, I don't know if it's proposed or guaranteed, but the Reaper changes they were talking about?
No.
So, combination of things to try and make the Reaper less volatile, I suppose. One is like halving the damage that this grenade does, which I think is actually not a bad thing. But the other one that I thought was interesting was they wanted to make it so combat drugs doesn't let you regenerate if you've been recently attacked or you recently have attacked. So you can't have Reapers like healing up and kiting type thing.
I definitely prefer the first one. Obviously not both.
I just fear that they'll do both.
Yeah, because I feel like one only affects Mass Reapers, the damage, right? And then the other one affects a Scouting Reaper too, which I don't like. Like, the Scouting Reaper does occasionally get 2 or 3 probes. A proxy single barracks Reaper is a perfectly fine opener that leads to interesting games. Like, those are things you don't really want to cut. And I think if you cut the grenade power, that doesn't you know, it doesn't matter. We'll see what they do. This is, of course, with the without David Kim anymore. I feel like people were like so hyped about like, you know, like, oh, what does this mean for StarCraft? Is it going to be entirely different, or is it only going to be like much better balance changes, etc., etc.? And then just like no one actually cares. Everyone's going to blame Blizzard anyways, and then, you know, Kappa troll David Kim.
Well, it's funny because the people who are still on the balance team are people who worked under David Kim. Essentially, they all worked together, and David Kim was just the face of it. So, I'm just sad that we don't have a face to blame anymore. It's like when Dustin Browder left, right? Like, hello? Who do we get mad at?
Well, then you just blame it. You blame history, you know? You're like, well, if only 6 years ago this I didn't screw up this thing, man.
Oh, I see. We'll retroactively blame David Kim.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is unfortunate. This is, by the way, like, you guys have probably watched hundreds of PBTs with us. This is what's supposed to happen when you open up with a Widowmine drop of some variety. The Oracle doesn't die. A Widowmine doesn't get a pop off on like the very important Observer. The Phoenixes just simply pick up the Widowmines and clean everything up. Okay,
or anti-timing on this? Oh my! You spoke too soon, Zombie Girl.
That was my bad, guys. I cast a curse this one.
I believe in the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, bracket curses, and caster curses.
Oh gosh. Might be, guys. Might be. Sorry, Claudia.
Do you carry that caster curse around in your caster purse?
I do not have a purse, so that's a hard no. A purse is just designed to make up for the lack of pockets women clothing have. And I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not gonna support that.
I love that you don't have a purse, not because of that, but because all you do is carry a backpack around all the time. So you don't need a purse. You have the biggest purse, and it's on your back.
Yeah, what exactly means to pray me? I carry it on my shoulder sometimes.
Oh my god. This is so weird. We watched Cloudy handle Widowmines. I feel really well against Optimus just now in the winner's match. But like game 1 in the series 1 combined with game 1 in series 2 here against Ziggy, Cloudy's just like really bad at dealing with Widowmines.
I feel like this is totally expected though. I was so hyped to see him finally have a normal game because he cleaned up the first two so easily. But then everything just fell into what I expected. He just constantly gets popped off by the Widowmines.
I mean, losing the Oracle again early on really sucked. Phoenix was taking a lot of damage now. Might not seem like that big of a deal because you're like, oh, well, they still lived. But this is now the Marines focusing them down later instead of not being able to touch them at all. I do like the Widowmine use, though, because what's important, it's Zealots. It's a lot of Zealots. This is where Widowmines are really going to shine through.
Just runs head first into this. Not really any finesse at all. Finally, I guess he has to pick up the rest of the Widowmines, but there's still a lot of bio left.
Oh, does he not have concussive shells? He does not. I was wondering why the Zealots were getting on top of him so easily.
He just finished combat shield, so it makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is Cloudy just kind of running through there. I mean, I guess he's enough reinforcement doesn't matter because, you know, Ziggy's taking so long to reinforce. But I feel like Cloudy could have played that a little bit smoother, a little bit.
No, I agree. He's reckless,
I mean,
we'll say.
It wasn't an A move because clearly he was picking up the Widowmines the Phoenixes are trying to, but it just was like kind of like it's like he thought he had so many Zealots it wouldn't matter, which wasn't the case. And Ziggy still has 10 army supply lead, but with Defender's advantage, it seems like Cloudy is still fine. All of his Phoenixes lived, and whatever to the last fight.
One thing that I kind of note for Cloudy too, which is working better for him than not, but normally you wouldn't talk about this being the case. He's not clustering the Phoenix in like that one perfect micro ball for moving. So it's costing him damage on the medevacs. It's costing him shots in some of these units. But if he was doing that, he'd also be super clumped up for Widowmine hits, so I'm glad that he's not.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, I don't know. Better only lose one. We have Ziggy once again going for a Ghost Academy, but this time it's not. I don't think it's as early, and it's with the third, so like I'm pretty sure it isn't as early.
Yeah, and big shout out to DeMuslim, just gave us a big host. Thank you very much, man. Hope you had a good stream, and welcome, folks, from DeMuslim stream. If you don't know what you're tuning into, it's WCS Valencia. And unfortunately, we're watching a really talented Chinese Protoss player make the most amateur mistakes against Widowmines over and over and over again. This is the finals of the group, however, so one of these two players will advance alongside Optimus for Group Stage 2.
Correct. And I'm still feeling pretty okay about Cloudy's chances here. He already 2-0'd Ziggy once, and despite what looked like an overzealous engagement with Zealots...
Well,
he still has a good supply.
He 2-0'd him on top of another game where he was taking silly Widowmine hits. So yeah, I've got some confidence, but it's still just like you're watching him make such. And I'm trying not to be too condescending about it, but it's hard not to when he's just eating every Widowmine shot on the map.
Well, it's like this is how I would play, right? So how much can I really critique him? But we watched plenty of other players play with Phoenix, and I've never seen so many Widowmine shots get off on the Phoenix. So there's definitely a difference here. Cloudy's definitely not the go-to Phoenix user that I would say that's. Actually, who would I say is really good with Phoenixes?
Myung-sik.
I think. Well, okay, well, I guess so. I was gonna say stats though, like someone who's very dependable. But anywho.
All right, so two really big things just happened. First off, both medevacs completely denied, so no chance to drop in that main anymore. Then the Warp Prism drags and drops some Zealots in the mineral line of Ziggy. This forces him to come back home with his reinforcements, now leaving these possibly exposed. But Cloudy, where's that army supply? It's not up here. It's like between the two bases.
Yeah, he tried to splinter correctly, but that was incorrect. Luckily now spreads his army correctly. Ziggy has about a third of his army, by the way, like back at home. 2/3 of his army coming through here. You know, it's obvious that he would not on either side. The Warp Prism probably could have died, probably should have died, but the bio just didn't chase after it. We have Ghost now, obviously, but this has been, I think he started building the Ghost Academy around like 8:30. So this has clearly been a lot of time for Ziggy to, you know, move away from stuff that is like gonna die to EMP. Like that Nexus just died right there. Cancel. But he's still not quite there yet. You know, he got Blink, but there's not a lot of Blink Stalkers, and he's trying to get to Colossus, but it's only the first one popping out here.
I'm almost like upset Widowmine production took a while to get going again. Not only have they just been like objectively good, right? Completely independent of anything else that's going on. These Widowmines have been good this game. However, couple this with the fact that Ziggy is going to be coming up against a +3 armored, most likely Guardian shielded, fully upgraded mass Zealot army. Marines aren't going to have any damage. They're going to rely on those Widowmines. And the Ghost doesn't get the EMP.
I don't really... We've watched a couple of battles go down now that includes half or a third or even a fourth of Ziggy's army from different sides, which is cool and all. Like, drops are good, right? Multi-pronged attacks are good, right? I'd say at a point, I keep on watching Ziggy send out like 20 supplied units while having this huge army back at home that had an actually good counter tech with ghosts just not being used, and I feel like he's just losing out on his good army. Colossus are now coming on the way. Storm on the way too.
I feel like it's funny though, because the Phoenix, they're not really as big of a factor right now. But when you're playing as Adept Phoenix, for example, that style, or what is nowadays Mass Zealot Phoenix, like the idea is you don't want to be moving out with a supply because you're just always going to have to dedicate it. You're not going to escape with the medevacs. You're not getting out of there alive. Like. But
that is why I think you would go for a Ghost Academy, is so that you have this big burst of bio that is 20 supply up, because at one point it was 20 supply up from Cloudy, with Ghost to directly counter Phoenix at depth. And that attack might have been very, very close if it attacked 2 minutes earlier. Now, Cloudy is only down 10 army supply with much better upgrades, or armor upgrades anyways.
And Storm is so
and
close.
He has Colossus.
Colossus too, yeah.
I don't know, I feel like the timing was kind of lost here. Like, Cloudy played too long on the whole, let's just try and harass you to death.
He's also got that Disruptor shot. Wait, do you mean Ziggy? Cloudy didn't really do much for us.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I actually was asking, I didn't know. But it was the Disruptor, the Colossus, the Storms, like area of effect damage out the wazoo here, or the Wild Zoo here. Either way, Cloudy should be able to take on what is the mass army. I just don't know if he'll be in the right places at the right time. And right now, that's proven to not be the case. Overcharge here a little bit late, not going to save him. There's 5 or something Widowmines on this side too. A lot of Ghosts with EMPs locked and loaded.
I mean, Ziggy might have taken a long time to move out, but he moved out with a maxed out army with Widowmines and Liberators. So it's still a chance to win this game.
Cloudy
he doesn't really have to answer against the Colossus.
Like, what few units he can warp in, he keeps it directly on the front line too. So Ziggy's just focus firing it down.
Not the smoothest. There we go, some from the natural. That's a bit smarter. Does end up saving that 4th base, and Cloudy is going on to a 5th base, that gold that's never been quite able to get up. Ziggy starts his 4th, but as said, like, with the Colossus available, what is Ziggy's answer to those? 3 Colossus, couple of Disruptors. Usually it's like Mass Liberator can help out versus Disruptors, and sometimes Colossus, but only having recently added 2 more Starports, isn't even up to a Fusion Core yet.
You know, what's a bit problematic that I'm worried about is the way they're expanding to each other. At some point, I think Ziggy actually gets the advantage. Like, let's say one of these is a planetary, and baiting a fight towards that base defensively maybe kills and then counters. Alternatively, though, if he keeps pushing down the middle, left side of the map as well, I don't know. Like, I'm surprised there aren't more Templar here banked up with Storms, but the reality is Cloudy's little death ball army here, it's actually pretty strong. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, Cloudy's army is very good. And I would say without Ziggy's, 8+ Liberator count, which he's not even close to getting to, can't get to if he's maxed out, then this should just always go in Cloudy's favor, but I'm thinking of concaves or the Wood mines that constantly get attacks. Like, okay, this gold pace is never going to be able to mine.
Oh, it's a lot else. They might actually be able to save this if they were already on top of it, but they're going to get in so late. So yeah, base going to get denied hardcore. Ziggy also scans. He cleans up the Warp Prism on this side too. He's actually making a lot of good moves here. Looks like Disruptors are trying to trade out on this side. One of them walked into a Liberator though.
Yeah. Cloudy, not quite maxed out. Not thinking about adding on Stargates and a Fleet Beacon quite yet. But it's only 2 Liberators, which as soon as Ziggy leaves, by the way, Cloudy pounces upon and deals with.
Alright, so this is a weird game where upgrades are pretty much set. There's not really a timing here for anybody. Army supplies and army types, I guess, are going to be best. And while lots and lots of Liberators, I think, are something that Ziggy really wants, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like with 3 Colossus, 1 Viking doesn't cut it.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think it does.
Actually, does he not have any Templar right now? Okay, he's got a couple. Excuse me, they're here on the right side because they're just lagging a bit behind.
Right. That is personal cloaking.
That would actually be really nice for the Ghosts. There hasn't really been a ton of observers. In fact, there are none.
There's been a notable lack of detection with all the Wood mines going on.
That's true. I mean, we didn't really pick up on it, but now Ghosts are going to walk to that front line. Maybe he sends a Disruptor shot out? Oh, he's getting the EMP on the Storms. That alone is good enough.
Yeah, now the Colossus are still a lot of splash damage, but he's gotten to a choke. That was pretty Disruptor hitting the last one right there.
Yo, Cloudy might die here if he's not careful. He's got to be so careful. More Storms not coming in, though. Lots of Stim also going to hurt this army. Yikes.
Exactly. He stemmed so much trying to chase the army down, and Cloudy did get into a choke that the army was half dead, there wasn't a concave, and the 3 Colossus still don't really have a counter.
The only reason the Ghosts are going down is because other units were near them and they got splashed. That's hilarious.
Right?
Still no detection.
Yeah, he has 1 observer that maybe he's trying to bring along. Yeah, it was delayed. Now he's pulling another one. Oh, there's still so many High Templar, though. It feels so good to get those beautiful EMPs, but any Protoss worth their salt is going to have, High Templar set in a main base or a natural in case their big clump of High Templars gets EMP'd. And that's exactly what Cloudy had, as well as just realizing he had to get out of dodge and survive.
Next game, I need you to start a counter for how many Widowmine shots go off.
I wonder if there's a counter in that huge stats info graphic we have.
Maybe. Alright, well, Command Center is still probably going to get killed. Oh boy. Not quite game. Ziggy's got other bases and he's still got production. Not an easy way for Cloudy to push up this ramp. He's going to kill another base though. So nice consolation prize. Or not? Okay, that was a weird way to take the engagement. But Storms and Archons can finish off these Liberators. If those go down, nothing to stop the army. I love the Immortals in this too. The Immortals are getting so many executing shots, but wow. Cloudy, he's going to take game number 1. I say wow though because dude ate every Widowmine he could of that game. There's no Imba cries. I think Cloudy actually just outplayed Ziggy towards the end, especially with macro and engagements, but I'm just
yeah.
Protoss is nice. There's a meme here somewhere, right? Eat every Widowmine, still win the game.
I feel like Ziggy's Widowmine's obviously doing fine, but I feel like his game plan, it's all types of wrong pacing for a PVT. you know, he has Ghost against Phoenix, or whether in that case, I guess it was Zella at Phoenix, right? Charge out Phoenix for a very long time, doesn't really use them. Then Colossus come out, and because he invested in Ghosts and a bunch of side attacks, he couldn't afford a bunch of Liberators, which is usually what the Terran has at 13, 14 minutes, is like a ton of Liberators to help. So I feel like it was like, you know, the Ghosts meant to do something early on, and they just didn't. Kind of like the very first game these guys played like an hour ago.
So I was trying to set Cloudy up for a joke here. He messaged me, and he's like, I play so bad today. And like, I want to be like, there, you're still winning, right? But I tried to make a joke. Are you hungry? And my follow-up was going to be, because you ate all the Widow Mines. But he's like, hungry and very, very cold here. AC so strong. I'm like, oh. No.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, saw 2 on Vortex. So we were questioning whether Vortex was playing today or not. There you have it. That's cool.
And now he's out.
Oh, was that actually the finals? I wasn't sure if that was like elimination series or not. Well,
I don't know.
we're still waiting on, I guess, what the next map's going to be for Cloudy and Ziggy. Hopefully it's not going to be too long. I really don't want to cut to like a commercial break.
Right. Yeah, there it is. Vortex now faces Mamba. Mamba number 5.
So he's still in it. He's still got a chance.
Hey. We have more people here.
Well, I guarantee you, despite writing the score in-game, someone's going to ask as soon as we load in. Score question mark? I'm going to put my money at being Crank as well.
Really? I'm going to go with the other guy.
Emil? Nah, I think Emil knows.
It's all about whether or not they're alt-tabbed after accepting the invite.
Fair enough. All right, folks. Game number 2 kicks off here on Proxima Station. Now, if you are just joining us, this is the elimination match, the finals of the group. One player will advance on to Group Stage 2 alongside Optimus to play another group over there. The other will, unfortunately, be out of DreamHack entirely. Or, excuse me, WCS at DreamHack. There you go. This reminds me a lot of like when the Porsche people wanted us to say Porsche. Like, you have to say Porsche.
Porsche.
In the upper right side, we have the yellow Terran player. Give it up for Ziggy.
In the bottom left, as the purple Protoss, it is Cloudy. No one asked. You were both wrong. None of the observers asked the score.
Oh, you're right. Nice. Maybe they paid attention. Excelente, as they would say in Spain, right? No, it's Italian.
I don't honestly know. Okay, so very fast probe scout, because Cloudy has been cheesed, was tried to be cheesed last game. In fact, until the game started, he knows that something is up, but scouting all of the proxy locations on Proxima probably would have taken too long. I think just getting there to scout on their base, see if it's even an opportunity, even an option is better. Probably just leave. Cloudy's gone for a Nexus after Gateway, so not much pressure you can do.
Well, there is something I'm a little worried about, just by the way, guys. Cloudy had said to me, like, and this wasn't the joke, I play so bad today, right? This is coming from the point of view of someone who is winning without really dropping maps against this particular player. So I'm a little concerned, not for this match. Like, I still think Cloudy takes the 2-0. I still think he moves on to the next group stage. But I'm hoping that his confidence isn't, like, super shaken by this.
Yeah. It's one of the harshest things, of course, about tournaments like this. Even though they're long days, they still, there's only 2 series, or 3 series, I guess, where you could just be out, and watch your friends for the next 72 hours.
Nobody watches their friends. They just go back to the hotel and mope.
Some of them do. Some of them party and get drunk, and some of them bother watching. But
some like to forget the pain. Some don't.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it does suck. So if you're having a bad day because your travel was bad or you're a little bit off, you just gotta hope and pray that you get out of the groups, which are supposed to be the easiest part. But obviously, group stage 2 and group stage 3 are gonna be quite difficult. So you can get to the better day tomorrow. But it's like it's seriously like Cloudy works, months and months up to this point, grinds Korean ladder. Any one of these guys does, and one day you don't feel very good. The conditions are wrong. The AC is too strong. Which I found funny because I thought that would be a problem when DreamHack kind of tweeted that kind of funny image of the AC, and they're like, hopefully no more sweaty balls or whatever.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I know
it wasn't DreamHack official, but it was someone from them.
Well, I was just gonna mark that I know a lot of people get very, how to say, particular about the AC, where someone like myself, for example, might enjoy it. Players will just actually feel distressed and their fingers will be cold.
Well.
I think that's
exactly.
because when I play this game, man, my palms get sweaty. They don't get cold, I
think that is you're always warm, right? So for them, it's like no one likes to feel like their joints don't move very fast, and that's the trick. It's just depends on what temperature is right for you. I had that problem too. Not a pro gamer or whatever. I'm not going to complain about it, right? But I was also like, dang, it's cold in here. You see a lot of players actually have hand warmers just in case, but I guess no one thought that would be an issue because Valencia's apparently very, very hot right now, but the AC is working too well.
Valencia, so hot right now.
Exactly. There was a setup attack for Cloudy to kind of pair up together with this proxy pylon, but seeing the Widowmine drop has to respond to that first.
I almost wish this was fake and not actually Widowmines. This was just somehow the sickest bait out of Ziggy, while he just played super greedy behind it. Yeah, the Oracles are quick to respond and not much gets done, but the Marines do push back. They catch the Stalkers, the Warp, and deny Cloudy falling apart here on the front lines.
His attempt to be aggressive just falls apart, and it's I know we've seen so many PvTs where these ideas work. Proxy pylon leads to 2 more warp-ins, that leads to the snowball effect with 2 oracles, because I almost guarantee that's the reason he got 2 oracles instead of phoenixes after the first one. That's what he's been doing every other game, or no oracles at all. These are supposed to combine with units, but Cloud is today just having the worst luck, getting pounced upon, having to deal with Widowmines. It's not good. There are SCVs going down, but I guess the game heart isn't.
Oh yeah, no game heart for this one. 12 workers dead so far.
Yeah, so that's not so bad. I thought the snowball effect that could have happened with the units, but that must feel much better after losing them.
This one will not get much, and that medevac will go down, so Ziggy's starting to take some worse trades for it. Whatever for the opener out of Cloudy, regardless of whether those oracles worked or not because of the way the attack was shut down, Cloudy still is macroing a lot harder and better. 3 base now, 52 probes, chronoing out probes still too. Unless Ziggy hits with the sickest timing attack while Cloudy's still down in supply, give this 5 minutes, Cloudy's going to have so much army supply because this is going to have all the money in the world to support it.
Yeah. I mean, despite the whole thing with the proxy pylon, the rest of this game is going, I think, as smoothly as it's ever gone for Cloudy. There's no Widowmines in the middle of the map. They're going to pop off. I'm checking the minimap because last time I said that, he just gets killed. There's definitely not. And he's able to just focus on his economy and getting his build correct and on point. So he should be just overwhelming with supply.
There's a lot of should be in this matchup. Should be safe to not get hit by Widowmines, for example. I feel so bad. I'm not trying to take shots at Cloudy. It's the context here of this is a player that we know is a really good player to see take such silly things.
You're just like the Widowmine, Rifkin. You don't think you're gonna get shots fired, but then they just walk right into it.
It's just oops, I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah. And it's painful too because I think you can tell Cloudy in a lot of these games has tried to focus entirely on making sure he doesn't get hit by the Widowmines, and then things spiral out of control and he loses focus and it happens anyway.
Oh, that's so annoying. So you can't crush the SCVs, obviously. They're stuck in stasis. This is another way to just extend your denial of the base. Still picking off units here and there. Phoenix is being somewhat effective. Nothing too amazing. Ziggy's third only just lands. Meanwhile, Cloudy's had this up and running for quite some time. He's really oversaturated too, to the point where I don't know if he's planning to take a fourth if he just accidentally made too many probes. A lot of gateways now finishing up. He's got to turn those 2 into warp gates. I hope he remembers. I kind of feel like maybe he doesn't.
8's certainly better than 6. This build is so well practiced and it's finally not being disrupted that I wonder if he'll just notice as soon as he tries to warp in. Like, wait a second. That's not 8 warp-ins.
Well, it's not just that, but like I'm worried he'll build more gateways, not realizing.
No, it's a possibility.
I did scoop up most of the Widow Mines. One does get a shut off on the Phoenix, but nicely done and a Cloudy.
Yeah, it was the Phoenix, not the Oracle. Cloudy, by the way, not taking too long on Resident Glaive Adepts. He is already transferring over into double Robo Colossus, probably the smoothest transition we've seen so far. And this doesn't bode too well. He did notice the... Yeah, he noticed the Widow Mine. Right, like, it doesn't go that well. Ziggy doesn't really have the pressure necessary, the army necessary to stop Cloudy from getting those Colossus, from getting to Colossus composition, Death Ball status.
Yeah, no pressure on that 4th either. Nice snipe of the Observer, at least. And as good as the Colossus may be, until they have extended Thermal Lance and until they're backed up with an army, they're not very good. We saw them kind of walk in before the army last time too. A little worried that we'll see Cloudy make those similar mistakes.
Yeah. I feel like, so WCS, or StarCraft Esports just tweeted something that I feel like wasn't supposed to be on their Twitter.
Oh? Like a good or a bad thing? I can't look right now because I'm...
It's like a mediocre thing, but it's directed towards Chris Clark, and it's like, I think a basketball joke.
Oh.
I don't know. I found it
interesting that they're still talking to that guy.
Well, I found it funny, like a sick pleasure almost, whenever I see the Twitter account like tweet the wrong things, even if it's totally harmless. But especially if it's not harmless and it's like the worst thing in the world for the public.
I'm just like, see. I know that's not who I think it is on the Twitter when that happens. That's my logic.
Yeah, the person we think of, I don't think does. I thought it's a different person, the really good person that does the tournament updates. So, anyways, it was already deleted. Nice. Colossus are already out, 2 more on the way. Upgrades, looks like they're going to be even. And Ziggy still has an army supply, but it is a question about, once again, can he deal with the Colossus effectively?
I'm now aware of one of the many things that GameHeart makes me lazy for, and that's I don't get to see where the scans are. I mean, you can kind of predict and guess because you always scan where your Terran player is going to attack. It's just a classic and very cliche thing to do. Sees the army up ahead, but yeah, I missed that on the minimap. Attack on the left side is actually going to go pretty well for Ziggy. The Phoenix are going to be very annoying though, but he will take out the Adepts. Chase back in the middle of the map though doesn't go so well over here.
Well, there's multiple attacks going on. One in the main base as well. Cloudy is trying to reinforce over here. Cloudy doesn't pull back.
Real awkward interruption committee, but I guess we'll swap after and sort that. The attack of the main does drive off SCVs from mining. This one not really cutting into production much. I mean, it's lots of awesome little attacks, but none of them are really causing any significant damage.
No. I was way more hopeful for the natural drop to do more damage, but it just flopped.
Alright, well Ziggy gets pretty wrecked. Nice thing is, though, he's not going to fall too far behind in supply by this, but his supply is really inefficient supply in the grand scheme of things. A lot of Marines, not a lot of Marauders. I guess the Vikings will help out a little bit, and I do like the continued Widowmine usage, but this is like 6 Colossus. Cloudy's almost making too many Colossus.
Yeah, usually the golden standard's 4, maybe 5. 6 is a little bit too much. But Ziggy out the 4th base now is trying to get to some anti-Colossus tech with 2 more starports. I don't really like that they're on the front lines. I think they're just going to be canceled.
Yeah, that's asking for trouble.
One of the games where Ziggy does not have EMPs for those storms, so they're looking quite scary.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there's like, what, 28 Marauders, 30 Marauders, 30 Marines. There's so much area of effect damage. Out in the open spread like this, though, it's pretty nice. Storm's going to hit both sides of the army, but looks like the backside not going to do what it wanted to. It does take out 2 of the Colossus, however.
I loved the idea when he saw the opportunity, but there's still barely enough adepts, it looks like, to tank for the Colossus, even as they go down to the Vikings.
Didn't register with me, but that's a planetary.
Yeah, I guess it was building while the fight went on. He's going to manage to save 2 Colossus and a couple of high gas units, but he definitely needed a reinforcement line there, and he had to wait for them back at the gold base of his own. Warp Prism finally involved.
There's a lot of what-ifs for that scenario. I think, though, above all else, well, maybe the Marauder count could have sufficed to that triple-pronged attack. The Vikings really didn't get the Colossus kills they needed to. It was more on the Marauders. And those Vikings, I mean, they can engage before the fight even really has to commit to it. If he dives in this Warp Prism, that'll be worth it.
It certainly will. These Vikings are probably going to tear down everything they mean to,
He just
but...
A-moves. He does deny the Warp Pin nonetheless.
Yeah, he does, but I was going to say, like, there's Archons, there's Storms, there's still an Immortal choking away at all these Marauders. Cloudy just needs another reinforcement line, and he will be able to overwhelm.
I'm still going to do it. GG. Alright, Cloudy will 2-0 and 2-0. He's good to go for the group, and he'll be joining Optimus in Group Stage 2. Now, I don't believe they go to the same group in Group Stage 2 or anything like that, but still nice to see 2 well-deserving players advance out of this very first grueling stage of the tournament.
It's still a long time to go.
Yeah. Yep. We don't really have an exact time frame on how much we'll be casting, guys. We'll cast as much as we can today. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we've already just had like a ton of fun here with the quote-unquote amateur matches, which I don't think Cloudy and Optimus really fall into the category of. But as we get to Group Stage 2 and we start getting more players up there, we're going to start seeing a lot more even matches too. So not nearly as many 2-0s, I think. Because actually, you look at the bracket, like the entire overall bracket, and that's kind of the case across the board right now. Like either people are winning really hard or losing really hard. There's not really, there's no real evenly fought battles here.
Right. I mean, that's expected in Group Stage 3.
But
Stage 2.
Quick notes with folks like Harstom, Snoot, Arctur, don't know that name. These are some guys who have already advanced onto the next group stage alongside Optimus and now Cloudy. So I don't think there's anything really left for us to cast in Group Stage 1. Maybe we'll try and cannibalize the end of a match or something to save some time. But we'll go to a commercial break, put some music on, we'll try and sort out what's coming up next, and we'll give you guys updates soon. So thank you very much for watching. Be back shortly.